Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko ni kosi, alo komi keshito.
Wache.
Well, gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko ni kosi, alo komi keshito.
Wache.
Well, gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. You're welcome to the news headline review. I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and joining me in the chair this morning to host with me is Miss Regina Bless. Miss Regina, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What of you?
I'm good. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and we are back at it again.
Exactly.
How was the weekend for you?
It was cool and great.
Yeah. I had a fruitful weekend.
I know, right?
We bless God for that. All right. We are back again to dive into the stories for this morning. Okay, so let's move on to our first story this morning. Akufo-Addo urges African countries to channel 30% of reserves into continental institutions. Ghana's former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has proposed that African nations allocate 30% of their sovereign reserve to multilateral financial institutions within the continent. According to him, this move would empower development finance institutions such as the African Export-Import Bank and the African Development Bank to more effectively respond to Africans' present development needs. The statement echoed a proposal he first advanced to the African Union while serving as Ghana's president and as the lead advocate for the AFCFTA, which has its secretariat in Accra. Speaking on Friday, June 27th, during a panel of former African heads of state at the 2025 Afrexim Bank annual meetings in Nigeria, Akufo-Addo stressed that such a strategy could reshape Africa's financial landscape. He lamented that many African countries continue to deposit their reserves in the foreign banks, often at a negative interest rate, while struggling to finance critical infrastructure and development projects at home. He added, "The institutions we need to drive our development are not in our hands," he said, emphasizing the importance of financial sovereignty. If we don't control our financial institutions, we cannot sustainably fund our development. Akufo-Addo called for stronger collaboration to bolster Afrexim Bank and the African Development Bank, urging leaders to take bold steps beyond rhetoric. We have to put our mouth where our thoughts are. Let's make our decision that will enable us to resolve our problems. We can't do it just by talking, he said. Right. So let's dive into the story. So former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has proposed that African countries should allocate 30% of their sovereign reserves to African financial institutions like the African Development Bank and the African Export-Import Bank. His reasoning is simple but powerful. So African countries currently deposit most of their reserves in foreign banks, often at low or even negative interest rates, while struggling to finance development projects at home. So our former president believes that redirecting reserves to African institutions would strengthen Africans' financial independence, empower the continent to fund its own infrastructure and development, and reduce dependency on external lenders like the IMF or World Bank. And this was said, he made this known during his pitch delivery at the 2025 Afrexim Bank annual meeting in Nigeria, where he called it a bold action over rhetoric, urging African leaders to put our mouth where our thoughts are. What does this mean for you, Miss Regina?
It means a lot.
Yeah. Coming
because
from
how can
former president.
He's intelligent too. Wow. He's very intelligent.
He has good thoughts for the country. All right.
So it's a great move, because how can all African countries decide to how should I put it, decide to invest or save your money in foreign countries, leaving your African bank aside? We have the African Development Bank. We have the Afrexim Bank.
Yeah, Afrexim.
So first off, when 30% of these reserves are being saved in African banks, it will strengthen the institution. And also, we know that money within Africa can support development, trade, and infrastructure, and also reduce dependency on foreign markets. This is not the time where we need to depend on these people all the time. By so doing, I would say we are also financially independent. This is self-reliance. You don't go about asking these people for money. You don't go about depending on them solely. And also, why this makes sense? First off, instead of helping Western banks grow richer with African reserves, this move helps build up Africans' banks and economies. So that is by saving 30% of our money. And also, it funds African projects. We all want Africa to be like the Western world. We want Africa to be a developed country, not now developing or not underdeveloping, but we want it to be developed, because looking at this Western people, they are already developed. They are even living, should I say, ahead of us, way ahead of us. We are still stuck to where we are. So instead of giving this money to these people to, should I say, enriching them, because 0% interest. What I know, when your money is in the bank, at least you should be gaining something.
Exactly.
Because your money is being used for investments. There's a kind of savings we have even in Ghana here.
Yeah.
If you have 10 billion and you take it to a bank, there are some type of savings. There's a saving where that 10 billion will be used as a business, will be used to give will be given to people for loans. So at the end of the day, you can, and it's possible that you can get half of that money as interest. And there's another savings where that money will just be lying there dormant, nothing, 10% shishi wouldn't be on it. So I believe that when 30% of our reserves are being kept right there in our African countries, it would help us develop. We would be able to construct our roads, hospitals, infrastructures that we need, and all that. And also, it improves African financial power. The more money African institutions manage, the more influence they have globally. You would be financially independent. This is not a time where you'll be relying on other people. And also, yes, this brings me to reduces dependency on the West. When Africa funds its own development, it doesn't need to beg or borrow from outside.
Right.
This is high time. This is the time. This is the season where we need to be independent.
Right.
It's like most people don't understand independence. That is why I always say that Ghana, for example, the Independence Day celebration, it should be stopped.
It should be stopped.
It should be stopped because
Squashed.
we are not. Madam, it's a not, because we are not independent. We still go out to borrow. If you claim you're an independent woman, why should you go and borrow? Why should you go and ask money? It doesn't make sense. Should tell you that you are not doing something right as a country. So I think that this would work with more monitoring and evaluation, and with more scrutiny. Yes, it needs to be scrutinized well. They need to make sure that the 30% reserves are being used for its right purpose.
Yeah. Where my problem is that we have African banks. So why is it that if you want to reserve like some of your money, you have to go all the way outside like your jurisdiction?
Exactly.
Even if you are not saving it in your own country's bank, look for another, like that is you supporting the other African banks as well. But you go all the way to go and keep it in a foreign bank, and they are even giving you negative interest. Sometimes the interest is not even like is nothing to talk home about. And I think that's very strategic coming from the former president. That's a good one.
And even with what he has brought up, it's like trusting our own African reserves.
Yes, I wanted to even ask, is it that they don't trust the other banks we have right here in Africa?
They don't trust.
Oh, but that is very bad. But if those monies are actually that percentage, if it's reserved in those banks, you can grow the bank.
Exactly.
Even when you need a particular amount of money, you can go and borrow from them. And as you are paying the interest, you are developing that bank and you are developing Africa as a whole.
Exactly.
But here, let's say you're going to put it in a foreign bank. They are giving you zero interest, negative interest, and then if you want to borrow,
they'll give you conditions.
Look at that. Wow.
Billboard.
I think we need to reason up as a country. Yeah. This is very, very strategic, and it's a bold move. And if we should take this initiative, that would be a very good one, not just for the country, but for African as a whole. Yeah. Miss Debbie, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So speaking on the topic of former President Akufo-Addo urging that 30% of the reserve that is being deposited into the foreign banks, why don't we bring it to the African banks? That's what we were discussing. I want to ask, what's your take on that?
Like, it was coming from who? The former president?
Yes, please.
So he knew all this?
I will actually advise that we shouldn't politicize.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to politicize this, but it's a good idea. But what if you brought it on board when you were in power?
Well, it's not. I believe that you don't, when you are in that hot seat, it's not everything that comes to mind. Sometimes you have to leave the place before, certain things come to mind. So let's be objective.
Okay, so not to politicize this whole issue, it's a great score. Looking at African countries, we've become beggars in our own country.
Right.
We've become a burden to ourselves. Not as if we don't have the resources to enrich ourselves. We have it, but we've created this kind of rapport that at the end of the day we tend to suffer the most. And you see, with this call the former president is making, as I said, it's a good one, but who started? Most of our leaders, save money outside the country. They save money from the foreign in the foreign countries. So I feel like they take the lead and then we also follow them, but it's not the right thing. And then saving it in our African banks is strengthening the economy. It does not only strengthen the economy, it reduces poverty in the country and then it improves the livelihoods of the citizens. So imagine we are saving in our own bank, the money stays in the African countries, we tend to support each other. And I think that was what Kwame Nkrumah was trying to do.
Oh, really?
He was bringing out this kind of policy that Africans, we will not go into the foreign war to beg, and he wanted to make Ghana the hub of all that. And then he wanted to collaborate all African countries so that we can help each other. Like if you are going through something and then this African country has the means, we help you, we do that, then it's like we are helping each other. And then he wanted to unite the whole Africa. Just imagine all African being united.
Right.
Someone is taking positive, the other person is taking the other way. And so if you want to save, it's going to help us a long way. It's going to create more job, I think so, because the money is going to remain in the African countries, and we will create more jobs. And trust me, creating more jobs automatically means that we are reducing unemployment. We find ourselves in an African country where everyone wants to go to the foreign world to go and work there. Everyone wants to go to the foreign world to go and study. It's good to explore. It's good to go there because we feel that the working conditions are very good. But imagine the money remains in this country. We strengthen our economy. Everything is going on. Or we will remain in here. So I believe that 30% is huge. Oh. Imagine all African countries is saving 30%.
Like these African banks.
Yes, papa.
Yeah.
We will move forward. In the space of a year, we will move forward as a country, not as an individual country, because it's going to help everyone. It's just like the ECOWAS. ECOWAS has to do with African countries, right? So imagine they bringing up a policy like that, and anytime you go for a meeting, you talk on this, you educate more on that. And I think there should be education on this. They should go to there should be a tax for every African leader. You go to your people, like you educate them on that. Let them know why you are supposed to invest in your own country, and they should make it attractive. It's not as if they don't want to invest in this country, but sometimes you go and then the tax you are supposed to meet before all that is even a huge, like it's a big one, and sometimes you go in for a loan, the interest you'll be paying is even more. But this Western world, they've make it in a way that it's very it's very enticing. You want to invest there, and I'm sure before you invest, there are a lot of privileges you enjoy. But in African countries, it's not like that. So before this initiative is bringing on board works, then they have to make it attractive to be there. Africans, like say investment because you're going to use it for investment. Yes, so you should make me understand that what I'm doing, this is what is going to come out from it. You are going to benefit, I will benefit, and then the whole country will also benefit. If not, it will only be on paper and then it ends there.
Wow, that was a very strategic call from former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and I believe that if we should take this into action when we even want to borrow, I'm not saying that we should continue borrowing, but should in case it comes up that we need help, these African banks wouldn't be giving us the outrageous conditions that these foreign banks are also giving us, especially with the IMF and the World Bank. So I think that was a good one from President Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. All right, moving on to our next news story. We have cedi stability. CAT International urges GSS to publish import price data for transparency. Consumer advocacy group CAT International has called on Ghana Statistical Service to begin tracking and publishing standard import prices and corresponding profit margin for selected goods at the port. The group believes that such a move would promote price transparency and help consumers avoid inflated prices. This appeal follows the recent appreciation of the Ghanaian cedis against the US dollar, an upward trend that, according to CAT, it's yet to result in meaningful price reduction on the market. From January to late May 2025, the cedi strengthened from around 15 Ghana cedis to 10 cedis 20 pesos per US dollars, marking a 32 gain percent. Analysts attribute the rebound to improved exports performance and increased remittance inflows, which have boosted the country's foreign reserves. However, the question remains whether this currency appreciation translated into notable price relief for consumers. So Asante Boateng, a veteran importer of second-hand clothing with nearly 30 years of experience, confirmed that prices have seen a decline. He explained that the cedi's strength has reduced the amount of cash needed to convert into foreign currency for imports. Retailers across the country share this view, expressing hope that the cedi will continue to appreciate, enabling broader price reduction. Vice Chairman of the Kantamanto Used Clothing Association noted that a consistently strong cedi would allow retailers to lower prices further, benefiting both traders and consumers as well. Now, let's digest the story. Consumer advocacy group CAT International is calling on the GSS to track and publish import prices and profit margins for selected goods at Ghana ports. This recommendation aims to promote transparency, prevent unjustified price hikes, and ensure consumers benefit from currency appreciation. The call comes amid the Ghanaian cedi's significant appreciation against the US dollars from 15 cedis to 10 cedis, which is a 32% gain. While this should ideally reduce import costs and retail prices, market prices have dropped drastically, rising concerns about pricing practices and profit margin in the import retail chain. Now, veteran importers and retailers, including people from Kantamanto, acknowledge that some prices have dropped, but insists that further cedi stability would allow for broader reduction. Yeah, so this is coming from CAT International. They are a consumer advocacy group. They lobby on behalf of, consumers if there's anything that they have to serve as liaisons or intermediary between the consumers and the government. Yeah, so Ms. Debbie, what's your take on this? Do you think this is very necessary that they need to publish it to promote transparency?
Yeah, it is very necessary. Now, it is necessary.
That's right.
Permit me to read something small.
That's okay.
So, import price data, as we publish it, helps policymakers understand trade dynamics, making it easier to formulate policies that promote economic growth and development. And then import price data provides valuable insight into the economy, enabling businesses, researchers, and analysts to track price trend, identify patterns, and then make informed decisions. So we import a lot of things into the country, and so making it published, it makes people understand that, well, if I'm the business personnel here, and then I import goods, and then it has to pass through thermal ports, and I have to pay maybe a fixed price for this. You make the public know that maybe this is the fixed price I'm paying, and so this is what I'll be selling out to you. So it's clear this kind of doubt in mind that, well, the cedi to the dollar is appreciating. Why then are we not feeling, the consumers are not feeling the impact? You see, the cedi to the dollar has appreciated, but up to now, prices of goods and services are still skyrocketing, and citizens do not understand why it is such, or it is like that. Most of these citizens do not actually know when it comes to, economy and stuff. So it would be good if it will be published, and then it's clear this kind of doubt in our mind. Yes, the cedi has appreciated, but this and that is the main reason why it's not affecting the prices on maybe goods and services, and that is the main reason why you are not feeling the impact positively. So I feel like when they provide valuable insight into that. It enables researchers, analysts, to track down the price, as I said, to know the kind of fixed price they're going to put on it, and as well to clear the doubt in the mind of these consumers. And as it is stated in there, it's going to promote transparency and accountability. So by publishing import price data, the Ghana Statistical Service promotes transparency, allowing citizens to access information about the economy and hold policymakers accountable for their decision. Yes. So when you publish, maybe that is why we have the business news. You come out and then you say that, well, this is it. You go details into it, and then they know that this is what is happening on the ground, and this is the kind of effects that we, the consumers, are going to go through. So the information about the whole issue is very necessary. And then when it's happening like that, I can hold you accountable. Maybe coming in, you said that, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then the information we are receiving, it doesn't tally with what you, the leader, you are saying. I can equally hold you responsible to ensure that you do as you say. And then import research and development. So import price data can facilitate research on trade partners, economic trends, price indices, contributing to a better understanding of the economy and informing development strategies. About economy, there, sister, you have to read and read and read. Like, get somebody to sit you down and explain certain things to you. The 1990s way of calculating things is no longer. It doesn't exist anymore. So you have to let someone put you down. Sit you down. Especially our market women. You know, they don't really understand this thing. So if you don't get people who, inform them or educate them on certain things like this, and import price data also help the Ghanaian businesses to navigate international trade, making it easier to negotiate prices, identify market opportunities, and compete effectively. Traders in Ghana do not only trade in Ghana, they go into the international market world. They go to do business there. Why?
Sorry for distracting.
Don't worry. They go to transact business in the international world. And so knowing the import price data, it helps you when you get there, you know how to negotiate. If you know that you are importing this into the country, you know that when you get to Temaport, this is what they are going to take from you. When you get into the international world to import whatever you want to import, you know how to negotiate with the people, and all this also helps. So basically,
I think that's a good one from CAT International. At least this is going to, we have something we call monitoring and evaluation. Evaluate if indeed we are seeing evidence of the appreciation of the city. So I think that was a good one. Advocacy, advocates for the consumers, very necessary. All right, Miss Regina, what are your thoughts on the story?
I said it so.
No, don't do that.
Let's hear talk.
I would like to hear from you.
So the city we know is, should I say, stabilizing, and I would say since it's stabilizing up to now, some people are still buying certain goods at outrageous prices, and they are blaming importers for rising prices too much. So with CAT International coming out to tell Ghana Statistical Service to make sure that they publish the import prices of certain allocated goods, I think is good. Because let's say this goods coming into the country, this is what it costs. This is the price that you are supposed to sell it. It gives the consumers, retailers, wholesalers a fair idea or a fair knowledge on what they are buying, the prices they are supposed to pay. So I know that what you bought into the country cost $1. Then you bring this thing into the country, you are selling it at $20. It doesn't make sense. So when these things are being published, I think that it would help. And as she said, not especially our market women, our mothers, most of them do not know the way of calculation these days. The things my mom 20 cedis, she says it's 200 cedis.
Look at that.
Then when she's saying 200, I'll be like
2 million.
2 million bang. Then I'll take the money, weigh 20 cedis, and I'll say, wait, when I'm saying, 20 CDs.
Now it says your responsibility
So you
to
see,
teach her.
it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
So that when I'm but you know, surprisingly, in as much as they don't really know much about it,
No, you can't.
these people are intelligent.
They're so smart.
So it's good. I think yeah, can I say? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with CAT International. They should publish it, and it, as she said, it will also make policymakers accountable. Exactly.
All right. Moving on to our last news story. Land Minister launches National Secretariat to tackle Galamsey. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, has officially outdoored the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. The intelligence-led secretariat was inaugurated as the central authority for initiating, coordinating, and supervising all mining raids and scoops as part of effort to combat Galamsey. The sector minister stressed that the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat is the only mandated outfit with an exclusive jurisdiction to oversee all illegal mining operation across all 16 regions within the country. According to him, it is important for a centralized unit to harmonize anti-Galamsey operation, thus the need to outdoor the secretariat, which has been embarking on many successful operations within the country. Addressing the gathering, the minister also reiterated the government's resolve to deal with the menace, adding that he is equally committed to fighting against illegal mining without fear or favor. The minister noted, as we may all know, about 16% of our land reserve has been adversely impacted, and therefore there's the need to take urgent steps to restore our vegetative cover. On his part, the Minister for Interior, Mutaka Mubarak, who graced the occasion, also pledged his support for the Secretariat and assured his readiness to render the necessary support to make the Secretariat a success. The issue of Galamsey. So the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, in the person of Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, has officially launched the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Secretariat, a centralized intelligence-led body designed to coordinate, supervise, and execute anti-Galamsey operations across Ghana's 16 regions. The issue of Galamsey. Now, yes, the secretariat have been. No, like looking at the intensity of Galamsey and the way we are slacking. Hey, in as much as we are saying that these people, okay, I think it's not in my position to, Miss Debbie, what are your thoughts? They've launched secretariat to come back to Galamsey, and they are there to coordinate, supervise, and execute anti-Galamsey operation across the 16 regions.
Well, when it has to do with the issue of Galamsey, but still, I feel like I wouldn't like to be biased though, but is this the best solution to, stop this illegal mining in the country? Coming up with a secretariat, even though the secretariat has here, like his or her role to play, or that office has a role to play, but how well is he going to curb illegal mining?
How is it going to contribute?
How is it going to contribute? We know that the secretariat, you are supposed to take analysis, go on ground, survey what is going on.
Great.
Maybe today they've destroyed the water. These are the people I saw.
You get it.
But I don't know. How will it solve illegal mining?
And when it comes to our educational system, we call it the theory aspect.
Theory aspects, where you put it on paper and then you go to the lands minister's office. This is what I have. This is what. So after that, what next?
What is the action?
We are refusing to think. That is my problem. See, this one, if I want to say right now, no, but it is a fact. Like, we are refusing to think. See, if the office of the land minister, if it is being politicized, on Kamayente, because what you said is not what you are doing. What people promise to do is not what we are seeing. President Mahama, please, you people need to wake up. You need to wake up. It's getting out of hand, though. Secretariat on to me Kochiobia, on to me Kostopia. The only thing she will do is put it on paper. These are the people I've saw. This is it. And no, they say, I have a presenting survey now, yo, into no, or yeah, no, what's next? What are we going to do to stop illegal mining? Aside all these things, we've arrested military. It couldn't stop illegal mining. We bent excavators. Still, illegal mining is ongoing. And then you feel like when you bring in the secretariat, that is when we will stop illegal mining. Blackout. We the Africans know. Yeah, general. It doesn't work like that. Oh, that is why democracy is not good for us. I don't want to shift to that, but the way we are brought up, you know, yeah, the force and the identity. You know, in your be saying it doesn't move or shake us. So if you want to bring out a policy, you bring out a policy that's heja, you get it? Because if you want to bring, we don't fear. Africans, we don't fear boko because in the show, you are from a home where papa sorry and about to the any show can benya no pass school.
Like you get it.
It's not abronyo for babe pam or peg. You need to bath. You need Africa is not like that.
No, it's not like that.
So if we want to stop things like this, we bring policy that are hard, like policy that's like Nipano original land no so kwani niyemo shesheno or shehano or sheha because osuro, and we are not doing the right thing. We deport foreigners, and then you are bringing in secretariat.
So over the week, I think I saw some in the news that 4 Chinese men were actually arrested.
Every day we've been arresting them there.
But they are not finishing, no.
They are not. Yes, they are not finishing because we are refusing to do what is necessary.
Hey,
imagine I come to your country and I'm mine and then you allow me to go. I'll bring my people now.
Of course, I'll introduce new faces.
And it's not our fault though, because we are beggars. We are beggars and there is nothing we can do.
But in a way, do you think that is a contributing factor? That is why we can't take stricter, measures?
Number one.
Oh, I see.
You see, that is why I hate it when we say Ghana is beyond aid. We are not beyond aid. We are not. We are just using the word. But we are going from one country to the other, seeking for arms. And so that word, no more people free. Let's face the problem as it is. Bring tight policies. Foreigners, we should. What one Ghana near Waka Buchako Jimmy I deporting is on back Ghana Hama president no, you will face the law there. After that you'll be deported back to your country. But it is only in Ghana. They will deport you to go just like that. And you are not there. Chinese president or no on Soma or ye on Koyeshe on Yeshe. Trust me, he's not going to prosecute any of them. He will just say that, oh, we are sorry for what my people did, and then that ends it. Who knows, maybe behind the backyard they are laughing. Any mad and they are pretending. So with illegal mining, let's wake up. You are sleeping. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, you are sleeping or you are sleeping. We are Ghana need sorry. Work, do something. Stop illegal mining because it's getting out of hand. Our waters are being polluted. We are in Accra and then we feel like everything is okay. But when it becomes so intense, we will feel it here because you open a tap in your house and that tap connect to that river that is being polluted out there. So the earlier for us, the better. Let's take a proactive measure and stop this kukwansa behavior. We are beating around the bush. We'll go here today, we'll come here today. At the end of the day, it's still going. I didn't say yes out because allegedly some political officials are involved.
When it is going, then it is coming. Miss Eugenia, briefly, you have 2 minutes to make a submission.
The Secretariat, I would say, is acting as, should I say, the brain and command center of fighting illegal mining. The same way Office of the Special Prosecutor is the command center in making sure that corrupt officials are being arrested. So, The work of the Secretariat, first off, is to coordinate all anti-galamsey efforts. Secondly, monitor and track illegal mining activities. Third, collect and manage data. Support enforcement operations. Promote legal and responsible mining. Public education and community engagement. And lastly, advise the government. And we should also know that the Secretariat would collaborate with local community chiefs and security forces to make sure that illegal mining is being combated. In 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina. That was so brief and very solid submission right there. And the Secretariat's name here and not saying here.
It's important.
It's important. You think that they are the brain without.
It's important. Yes.
You feel like they are the brain. If we don't have the brain, how can the body function? Okay, that's fine. Everyone has opinion, just like how we all have noses. We all objected to opinions. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Good morning and welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear or favor. Now, Ghana is ranked 12 in Africa with highest cost of living. Ghana is ranked 12 in Africa with the highest cost of living among 23 countries. The country scored 30.6 in the cost of living index. For the rent index, the country scored 12.1 and 33.3 for groceries. Ethiopia was ranked first on the African continent with a score of 43.2 and was followed by Botswana in second with Mozambique and other African countries. Now, Ghana was ranked 12 with a country that has the high cost of living, and so what they actually focused on was rent and then groceries. Now let's look at our rent in this country. We are in a country where people don't take 6 months advance. No, you are going to rent a house and they are giving you 2 years advance, and the 2 years advance, a month is 500 cedis, and then you have to pay times 12 times 12, that will be 24, because in a year we have 12 months in a year, so you have to calculate that 5 times 24, and that is the amount you are paying. And then aside paying that, it doesn't end there. You're supposed to pay for your utility dues, you're supposed to pay for water and all that. Why won't we be ranked 12? Because all this is going on, and you see, we do not focus on this, and it's very bad. Would it be bad if a government comes into, let me even ask this question. Have you seen an apartment that is meant for a government? Maybe this is an apartment that was built by the government and it's named affordable housing, and it's meant to be rent for citizens at a low rate. No. All the apartments we have in this country, 99% are for private institutions. They are private owned. They are for individuals. And we have laws governing this, but it doesn't work. The landlord will tell you that it's my money. I built it with my money, and so I'm going to charge you as I wish, not as you want it. The Saglame housing project has been left to rot in the forest, in the bush. They were done painting. I saw a video where part of the building was completed, the furniture and everything was in place, and as it stands now, it has started to worn out because it's not being used. Cost of living in Ghana is really high. I'll always say this. See, let me take Accra for for example, because this is where everybody wants to live. This is where everybody wants to come to. They see Accra as a heaven on earth. They see Accra as to be a place of luxury. But I always say that living in this place is not for the weak. Living in Accra is not for the weak. Because you can take your monthly salary and it's channeled only for your rent, like your rent issue, transportation can't buy it. Feeding, you've not even feeding in it. It's only for your rent, and then that is it. And it's very bad. And you see, most of the times with this NSS personnel, you have to go from you study in Accra, you've been posted to the northern region or maybe the Volta region. You're supposed to seek accommodation for yourself, but you are working for the government. It's a 1 full year for the government. So would it be bad if a government build a flat in all the region and then with a specific name, and immediately you get to that town, you pay this amount of money with a lesser price, affordable price for these students, not only for these students but some citizens as well? Because trust me, if the government should have a flat and it's being rented out with like in a low price for citizens, we will not be struggling with rent issues here and there. And that is why most of these landlords end up even renting a waterlogged area for you, because that place is less expensive. And since we also want things that are less expensive, we end up endangering our lives. Then when we come to prices of goods, that is even worse. You go to the market and then a tuber of yam is sold at 50 cedis. A tuber of yam is sold at 100 cedis, 60 cedis. You are buying tomatoes, one tomatoes is 2 cedis, one tomatoes is 5 cedis. Why? And all these are something we should put into consideration. They say they want to stabilize the economy. The economy as it stands now, they will tell us that it's stabilizing, but we are not feeling the effect when it has to do with prices of goods. It is only on transport. Even with that, most of these drivers are not complying with it. You receive your salary, 50% goes into all this. And then you ask yourself whether because people see you and then they see you to be working, but within you know what is going on. You know what is going on. You are feeling the heat. Forget about the ministers in Koto. Even in their vehicles, they have AC. Most of them do not pay for fuel. They don't pay. They don't, even taxes, they don't. I think it's about time we should ensure that our ministers, like, there should be this kind of eye on them, whether they are paying tax themselves. Do they pay taxes? Because they always preach to us to pay tax, but the question is, they themselves, do they pay the taxes? Do they feel the heat we are feeling as citizens? They don't. Because we go to markets every weekend. And you see, Ghana, we don't have a fixed price. We don't. You go to buy tomato today at 5 cedis. The next day, not even the next day, in a pace of an hour, you go back and then they'll tell you it's 10 cedis. And then they'll be giving you a lot of complaint. Driver no Jimmy say or NTDA. See, we have perishable goods like tomatoes, like plantain, banana, all these fruits and vegetables like pepper. They don't have a long lifespan. In a space of 3 weeks or 2 weeks, they will start to go bad. These are the things that should be less expensive. But go to our market and see. They will say 3 plantain for you, 10 cedis. Now banana, four bananas is sold at 10 cedis. Why? But you know, in the space of 2 weeks, it will go bad. I won't even go for, let me use Malam markets for example. You get to Malam market, you want to buy plantain, and then they'll give you 3 for 10 cedis. I've experienced in a case where plantain that was some and then they'll tell these Zoom Lion workers to trash it. And I was like, why should we be wicked to our own selves? Something that you can sell it, like you will sell it for it to go fast and then you get your profits from it. No. They want to sell it at a higher price. But at the end when it's going bad, then they'll trash it. Who is losing? You will lose more. Even though I also feel the impact. But you feel it more than I will feel it. So yes, the city to the dollar is stabilizing. But we, the citizens, we want to feel the impact. Not only on transport fares, but when we get on the ground to buy foodstuffs. Because trust me, as a human being, you can't tell me you see the whole day without eating. When you sit a whole day without eating, how do you feel as a human being? You feel so dizzy, like your day becomes distorted. You don't even know what you are doing. And that is how the system, our body have been designed. You have to feed your system. You have to get that energy. But then you get to the market, and then sometimes the budget you've made, you get on ground, and then like you are holding like 500, but at the hour listing, you've bought half. You just bought quarter out of it. So I think this is the call for the government to do something about it. Mr. Forcing, you are forcing, but there is still a room for improvement. There are more to do. The government has a lot to do. When it has to do with our economy, there is a lot to do. It's not only about stabilizing the economy, but then we have to feel the impact. We, the citizens, should feel the impact. As I said, it should not only be on transport fares, but the food. I mean, the groceries we go out to buy. When I go to the markets right now and I'm buying and the prices are low, then I should be able to say that, yes, I mean, our economy is improving. How do we feel? We have been ranked as 12. I know some people see somewhere and say that it's better. It's better because you're not feeling the heat. It's better because you don't even pay your tax. It's better because you don't buy fuel. It's better because one way or the other you loot from the state. And so when you even get to them, 500 cedis is something very small for you. The government has a lot to do. Stabilizing the economy is not only about the cedi appreciating to the dollar. We, the citizens, we need to feel the positive impact. Then we now ourselves can actually applaud you. Yes, you are doing well, but there is more room for improvement. We want to feel the impact. Today, when I go to buy wache, they should tell me that wache is no longer sold as 10 cedi. Wache is sold at 5 cedis. Then I know that there is something. I know definitely it won't be as it used to be before, but at least there should be some sort of reduction that we will feel happy. And then we can save. Imagine you working and then you cannot save because 50% for rent, 50% for groceries. But nothing to show up. It's very bad. And that is why most of the youth, when we get the opportunity, we want to leave the country. Do something so that you keep us here. We got educated in this country, so it would be good if we also impact what we've learned into the country. But when the conditions that are not favorable to us, trust me, even me, when I get the opportunity, I'll leave the country. Thank you for making time with me on this.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that girl. Miss Regina, what do you have for us in today in history?
On June 30th, 1982, 3 High Court judges and a retired army officer were abducted from their homes near Accra and subsequently executed. This shocking event sparked national outrage and led to a formal investigation. As a result, Martyrs' Day was established to commemorate their sacrifice and uphold the sanctity of judicial independence. This day, June 30th, also marks Ghana's annual National Honors Day, when the state awards citizens and expatriates for their exceptional service in fields such as politics, arts, and civic duty. The tradition dates back to 1960 and was cemented officially in 2006, now held every June 30th. Democratic Republic of the Congo independence at 12:01 a.m. on June 30th, 1960. The Belgian Congo officially gained independence, newly named the Republic of Congo. Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba delivered the passionate speech denouncing colonial oppression. Within days, civil unrest and the Congo crisis took hold. Moving on, the Night of the Long Knives was a brutal purge within Nazi Germany from June 30th to July 2nd, 1934, where Adolf Hitler eliminated political rivals within the Nazi Party itself. This event involved the murder of hundreds of people, including leaders of the SA and other political opponents. The Soyuz 11 crew, consisting of cosmonauts Georgy Dobrovolsky, Vladislav, and Viktor, tragically died on June 30th, 1971, due to cabin depressurization during their return from the Soyuz 1 space station. The depressurization occurred during the separation of the orbital and descent models of the Soyuz spacecraft, leaving the crew exposed to the vacuum of space before landing. This day is observed International Day of Parliamentarism. International Day of Parliamentarism is celebrated annually on June 30th. It commemorates the founding of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in 1889, an organization dedicated to promoting parliamentary dialogue and cooperation worldwide. This day serves as a moment to reflect on the progress parliaments have made in becoming more representative and to address the challenges they face. Lastly, this day serves as a reminder of the power of social media and its transformational impact on communication, connectivity, and information sharing that brings together individuals, businesses, and communities around the world. So today serves as Social Media Day. And that's all for today on Today in History and Observances of the Day, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina, for the fascinating facts and observances for today. Today is World Social Media Day. It means you have to be active on social media, right?
So today no working.
In actual sense, we have to commemorate the day.
Yeah, so we would.
But for us, we are nosy people.
Be educated on the negativity, like the positive
Yeah.
and the negative.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I agree with you. I think that will do because, Charlie,
It's bad.
it's bad. The misinformation, disinformation,
Social media attacks.
and cyberbullying and all of that. And I bet you right now, social media is not like 1 hour. If you post something like 1 hour, if you have a crisis as an organization, within 15 minutes, just know that your crisis it has spread.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
has exploded. Apai.
Edu baby.
Hey, do baby. So like, social media is very, very powerful. And I think that we need to be careful of what we put out there on our socials. All right, since it's Social Media Day, as Miss Debbie has already indicated, that this is a time that we should rather educate people on the negative aspects of social media and how to utilize the social media platforms very well and effective. This is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be coming up for the news, and after the news, we'll be coming up with the main discussion. Please stick with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with the diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm Mr. Level Bear. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. No tune in, and say this is what I say. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page, and so now listen. I bet you fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, government to construct 600 chips compound nationwide. CJ's press conference draws far from lawyers over constitutional provisions. Tertiary students encouraged to conduct impact-driven research. Cape Coast hit by more building collapses amid heavy rain. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. Government under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama is set to construct over 2,000 community-based health planning and services in the next 4 years. The CHIPS program focuses on community participation, empowerment and ownership with community health officers. This initiative is part of the government effort to improve healthcare delivery in the country. By expanding CHIPS compound, the government aims to increase access to essential healthcare services.
The Assembly's Common Fund, and my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware of this. Each district is required to construct 2 new CHIPS compounds this year. Each district. So if you put that together, we are talking in excess of almost close to 600 CHIPS compounds that will be put up this year alone, or at least work on them will start this year. If we maintain the tempo, that should give us over 2,000 CHIPS compounds in the next 4 years. And this is a significant step towards improving healthcare services for the people of Ghana. Because even the Abokomano CHIPS compound that I put out sometime in April last year, it's not too far from here. The information I have is that between that time and now, close to 1,000 patients have received healthcare in that facility. And that is a modest facility. So you can imagine the sort of impact that will be made if 2,000 additional CHIPS compounds are built by this government over the next 4 years. And that would provide access to healthcare for millions of Ghanaians. And this will go a long way to improve healthcare services across the country. So we are very committed to ensuring that our people have access to quality healthcare. And at various levels, we will make efforts to invest in health facilities that meet the needs of the people. Yeah.
A lawyer and entrepreneur, Victoria Bright, has criticized suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu for holding a press conference regarding her ongoing suspension against Article 146 proceedings. According to her, Tokonu's action breached constitutional provision meant to keep such proceedings private. This was after the suspended Chief Justice held a press briefing criticizing the secrecy surrounding the committee investigations. She also questioned the legality of the process, sparking debate over potential breaches of Article 146. She emphasized the need to respect the law as it stands.
The Assembly's Common Fund, and my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware.
Yes, of course, I'm concerned, not just as a woman, but as a Ghanaian citizen, because these are constitutional issues that affect all of us. I would have wished that she had respected the constitutional procedures or the procedures that emanate from Article 146 that have been put together, and respected the fact that these proceedings are supposed to be held in camera. And so I don't really understand, although I hear her reasons, and if they are true, of course, we will all be concerned about them, but we are only hearing from her side at the moment. And it's the whole point not to put these issues in front of these eminent people who, when you look at the panel, there are some very eminent people there, people who understand presenting your case, looking at the facts, looking at the issues, and then making decisions based on what is presented before them. So would it not have been better for her to, as someone who is a Chief Justice of this nation, to respect the Constitution and actually wait and let the hearing go through and then talk to us if she felt the need to talk to us? I mean, you said we'll examine it in detail, but my initial reaction is no, I don't think she should have gone to that extent. And something, look, no one is bigger than the Constitution, okay? We are all subjected to it, from the president all the way down to you and I. And it doesn't mean that it's perfect, but we cannot chop and change it as we wish or when we don't like something. This is not the first time Article 146 has been invoked. Okay, we've seen it being used against Charlotte Osei, Loretta Lamptey, and some Superior Court justices. So we are aware of how it works. I'm not saying the process is perfect, but this is what we have at the moment until we change it. Okay, and it is the first time it's used against the CJ to this extent. I mean, we have the Bright Akwete petition under President Kufuor, but it didn't, because of the legality of it, because the legality was questioned by Ajaychum, it did not proceed because the Supreme Court agreed with Mr. Ajaychum that it was illegal. So this is the first time we've gotten this far with a Chief Justice. And as I said, for me, all these matters will come before the committee and they will give due consideration and make a decision accordingly.
At the 58th Special Congregation of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Vice President Professor Nana Opoku Ajimai urged tertiary students to focus on conducting innovative and solution-based research. She stressed the need for research that provides tangible benefits to society rather than just theoretical knowledge. By emphasizing innovative and solution-based research, the Vice President aims to promote research that has a positive impact on society and contribute to national development.
The government places a high premium on academic freedom because it promotes university operations and ensures smooth functioning of governing councils and management. I want to assure you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is firmly committed to empowering university councils and management to perform their statutory duties without undue political interference. Otumfuo Chancellor, please permit me to add that the government's non-interference policy means that universities will continue to be held to high standards. The Ministry of Education, through the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, will continue to partner with institutions to ensure that they continue to comply with the regulations, policies, and standards, and that governing councils operate within provisions of the statutes and acts that govern university operations. Thus, the ministry will intervene for compliance but not interfere unduly with legitimate processes and operations of universities. The government places a high premium on academic freedom because it promotes university operations and ensures smooth functioning of governing councils and management. I want to assure you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is firmly committed to empowering university councils and management to perform their statutory duties without undue political interference. Otumfuo Chancellor, please permit me to add that the government's non-interference policy means that universities will continue to be held to high standards. The Ministry of Education, through the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, will continue to partner with institutions to ensure that they continue to comply with the regulations, policies, and standards, and that governing councils operate within provisions of the statutes and acts that govern university operations. Thus, the ministry will intervene for compliance but not interfere unduly with legitimate processes and operations of universities.
You heard from the Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku Ajimai. Now, 2 more buildings have collapsed in Cape Coast, bringing the total number of collapsed structures to 6 within a week. The building collapses are contributed to heavy rains, rising alarm about the standards and structural integrity of aged buildings. Similar incident occurred on June 21st, claiming the lives of an elderly woman with 1 person missing. Prior to that, the regional minister, Eduamoa Otre Echo, directed the Cape Coast Municipal Assembly to demolish all weakened structures and prevent further disasters. In politics, former New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament for Subin, Eugene Boache, has expressed worry about the party's internal dynamics, alleging some individuals have taken control of the party's communication to benefit Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. His comment comes amid discussions about the unity and aftermath of the 2024 elections. Mr. Antwi claims the New Patriotic Party has hijacked the party to favor the former vice president. In business, the Trade Industry and Tourism Committee of Parliament has called on the Bank of Ghana to intensify its monitoring of foreign exchange inflows and global trade trends to help sustain the recent recovery of the Ghanaian cedi. The local currency has strengthened significantly, appreciating from around 15 to 10.20 per US dollar between January and late May 2025. This rebound has been largely credited to improved performance in traditional exports and surge in remittance inflows. Speaking in an interview, the chairman of the committee, Alexander Roosevelt, emphasized the need for sustained vigilance by the central bank. If you look at how the dollar is behaving now compared to the past when people could easily access it, leading to the dollarization of our economy, that situation has changed. The cedi is gaining ground, he noted. He added that what the Bank of Ghana must do is to monitor the flows of foreign currency and track both international and local business trends to ensure that the dollar does not once again overwhelm the cedi. The committee's remark reflects broader concerns over exchange rate volatility and its impact on inflation, trade and economic planning. Still on business, Ghana marked its first ever official celebration of International MSME Day with a strong call for transformation and digital inclusion in the micro, small and medium enterprises, led by a powerful message from Madam Margaret Ansia, Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency. At the international event held at the Kimpiski Hotel in Accra, June 27th, Madam Ansia positioned MSMEs as the heartbeat of Ghana's economy and emphasized the agency of supporting their growth through innovation, policy reforms, and strategic partnerships. This is not just a ceremonial gathering, it is a purposeful convergence of key actors in Ghana's enterprise landscape to reaffirm a shared commitment to MSME empowerment, Madam Margaret declared in her welcome address. Under the theme Empowering MSMEs, Connecting Entrepreneurs for a Digital and Sustainable Future, the celebration brought together government officials, entrepreneurs, development partners, and private sector players. It highlighted the critical role of MSMEs in the national development, with reaffirming that 92% of registered businesses in Ghana falls under this category, contributed 70% to GDP and providing 85% of manufacturing employment. MSMEs reflect the Ghanaian spirit of entrepreneurship, resilience and forward thinking, she said, underscoring their contribution as central to economic resilience and sustainable development. She also unveiled the GEA strategic direction aimed at building a thriving and inclusive ecosystem. This includes expanding access to affordable finance, improving productivity, enhancing digital capacity, supporting formalization, and increasing market access for women, youth, and persons with disabilities. She also announced the upcoming launch of the Gateway Portal, developed in partnership with the UNDP. The portal is expected to serve as a one-stop digital platform offering MSMEs timely access to business resources, tools and support services, a major milestone in Ghana's journey towards a digital inclusion. Our commitment to the sector is unwavering. Let today be a celebration of how far we have come and a reaffirmation of how much further we will go together, she concluded. Delivering the keynote address, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajare, praised Ghana's MSMEs bold, creative and resilient, whilst also acknowledged the systematic barriers they face, including limited access to finance and digital infrastructure. She outlined the government's bold 4-point delivery target for the sector by 2017 to unlock $6 billion in affordable lending to reach 100,000 MSMEs, with a 60% focus on women and youth, to operationalize 3 new industrial and agroecological parks, to reduce certification time and cost by 40%, to digitally onboard 250,000 MSMEs onto e-commerce and business platforms. Honorable Ofosu-Ajare also announced the revision of Ghana's national MSME and entrepreneurship policy to reflect emerging trends and sector challenges, backed by a costed implementation strategy. She emphasized her personal commitment to supporting Ghanaian women entrepreneurs from the informal to formal economy. The 2025 MSME Day was organized organized by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry in collaboration with GAI, GIZ, UNDP, UNCDF and the European Union, Stanbic Bank, MTN Ghana and other partners. The day featured exhibition panel sessions, business clinics, and networking chances aimed at equipping entrepreneurs for the future. With strong leadership from Margaret and institutional backing from GEA, Ghana's MSME sector appears to be on a promising path towards transformation, digital competitiveness, and inclusive economic growth. To sports, Ghana's national women football team, the Black Queens, have lost their final friendly game ahead of their participation in this year's Women's AFCON. The Black Queen lost 3-1 to Nigeria in the last of 3 friendly games before the AFCON commenced on July 5th. Ghana's head coach, Kim Lass, is expected to name his final squad for the competition on July 1st. Ghana trailed 3-0 to Nigeria after 51 minutes, including a converted penalty. In the 44th minute before Alice Kusi's consolation goal in the 88th minute, the loss is in Ghana's first in 3 friendly games prior to the Continental Championship, which runs from July 5th to July 26th in Morocco and has 12 nations set to compete. Ghana beat Malawi 3-0 in a win that had Black Queens forward Doris Boydua score a hat-trick and followed it up with a 4-2 win over Benin. The Black Queens are in Group C with defending champions South Africa, Mali and Tanzania. The top 2 ranked nations in the group proceed to the next stage. Now, reports from the Meteorological Agency has it that this morning mist or fog patches will form over the forest and mountainous areas in the early hours, amidst slight to moderate rain along the coast and a few inland areas. Later in the day, mostly cloudy conditions with breaks of sunshine will prevail across all sectors, with the likelihood of thunderstorms over parts of the coast, middle, transition and northern sectors from the afternoon into the evening. Communities affected are Flawu, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takrady, Axim, Ho, Koforidua, Akimoda, Kumase, Oboase, Takwa, Seshibekwai, Ketekrachi, Kintampo, Gwoso, Sonyanin, Techiman, Yendi, Tamale, Boli, Damango, Bogatanga, Nalerigu, and Wa. And that's how we end it on the morning news broadcast. Do all to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalks Radio, as well as logging on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news updates. Thanks for making time with us. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it's just a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide. I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no our Play Store any App Store. No tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page and this now listen. I be your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
It's a beautiful morning on Ghana Talks Radio, where we come your way to serve you the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. My name is Pakwesi Omare, your regular host. It's a new week, it's a new day, the last day of the month. This is the last day of the first half of the year. Yeah, so I know the energy is up. We are all gearing up for the second half of the year. And yes, all our aspirations that we began the year with, this is where we attack it vigorously with dedication, with commitment, with willingness. A good morning to you wherever you are listening to us and watching us from in the studios of Ghana Talks Radio. This morning we are coming your way with our regular discussions on national and social issues pertaining to the development of our dear country. This morning I'll be having APM with me as usual, the NDC's communications member, and also in Okake for the NPP will be joining shortly for us to get the discussions going. You are invited to join the conversation. You can join us on our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. On YouTube, our channel is very active, Ghana Talks Radio. Our website is www.ghanatalksradio.com. Our phone lines and WhatsApp is 0202-544-614, where you can share your opinions, your suggestions, and your contributions pertaining to the discussions we'll be having in the studios this morning. Let me go into the studios and welcome AP, who is already in the studios. AP.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How was your weekend?
It was normal and then fantastic as well.
Your party is in power, so you give us all the vocabularies in the studio. We accept it.
You know, particularly in this era, I think everyone bears witness that it is not only the NDC who are enjoying. It's not only the NDC who are in good condition, but Ghana, the people of Ghana, and the spirit of Ghana is doing fine. So we thank God that 2024, you know, came with good omen. Yeah. So everybody is enjoying, not only NDC. In fact, the peace, the serenity, the good economy, you know, better health, good governance. So we are all in it, we are enjoying it. We have to be thankful to our Creator, and then hope and pray that the current administration would do it best. You know, to pursue the agenda and the dreams and aspirations of the people of Ghana.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for such a beautiful introduction, AP. But before we get into the real conversations, AP, have you heard of the shooting incident in Kwanta, in the Oti region, where some 3 SHS students have lost their lives due to an ethnic conflict in the set district between, like, you know how this ethnic conflict they surge upon, and you know.
When did this happen?
It happened. 2 of them lost their lives on Thursday. Then the
Wow.
3rd student lost his life on Friday. And this is due to just some stray bullets flying around. Kids have closed, they are going home, and then bullets are just flying around. It takes them off.
This is serious.
Very, very serious. Very, very serious. So the school has even been shut down for now. It's been closed by GS.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is pathetic.
Very, 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 very.
You
very
see,
serious.
I don't know when we blacks, and particularly Ghana, the first country in the sub-region to attain independence. We should go beyond some of these things. I don't know. So, excuse me.
Sure.
What are they fighting? You know, for
that is what I keep asking myself also. Like, what exactly are they fighting for?
You see, if you read the history of Ghana properly, you realize that we almost all come from the same, you know, place of origin.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people think that in this day and age, what will resolve matters is pick up arms.
Exactly.
You see, we have a long way to go as blacks.
A long way. I mean,
because once we are preaching that even across borders, there should be unity of purpose. We should obliterate all the things that separate us. We should eliminate borders and barriers.
Sure.
So as to focus on the agenda of uplifting Africa. And this is what our people resort to.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
I think my government will have to step in and ensure that whoever is culpable deserves, you know. Yes, I think something should be done about this.
A whole lot of things should be done.
You see, sometimes when you hear some of these things, confusion happening, and you get to find out that the materials that are even used
in
these matters should be things that you have to be licensed to be able to carry.
So how do they come about?
How do they come about these guns?
Because even most of the people involved in this conflict, they are not, as to say, that much resourced financially to be able to purchase some of these weapons that they use. So who is sponsoring them? Who is behind most of these conflicts?
You see, that is the headache of my government. Because some of these things have been perpetuated, they have been entrenched. It has become a business for some cabals. And today, my government, under 1 year, will have to, you know, bear the responsibility, bear the brunt of some of these things. My government has to bear the brunt of some of these things. Simply because it is in government. But I trust the government of John Dramani Mahama. I believe there must be a thorough investigation into this issue.
Okay.
Ensure that we track. In fact, sometimes, you know, about 2 days ago, I was having a discussion with a group of people. And then I was asking them, so some of these things, how do we resolve them? When we know very well that it is you and me
behind,
who are pursuing our own parochial interest.
Yeah.
For which reason the ordinary people of Ghana must suffer. For which reason government must spend millions of cedis or billions of cedis to resolving some of these matters. You see, I think it should be clear by now that whatever your interest is, you will attain it, enjoy it properly when the country is safe, when there's progress. Because something that Ghana and Africa, we are going nowhere because things have become, the rot has become entrenched. It has become a convention. It is an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing. Something that we've taken it to be normal.
Yes, we have normalized some of these things.
And you see, the funny thing is, when the right things are happening, we are constrained by it. We are like, hey, why is this happening? Is it even genuine? Because we've been so subjected to the abnormalities, and it has rather become the normal of the day for us.
We have become acquainted with the rot, the societal ills. So it's become, or let me say, we have familiarized ourselves with it. But you see, whenever some of these things happen, let's cast our mind, let's project into the future.
Okay.
Today is you and me. What about our children? Do you want to leave, the society more deplorable,
unhealthy,
more bizarre for our children? You see, we used to hear these things when we were young, but today we are
we are living it.
We are living the reality.
We are living it.
Our parents were crying that they want to leave the society, the community for us in a better shape, with peace and tranquility, being the order of the day.
Sure. But what do you think fuels up most of these ethnic conflicts?
You see, in all honesty, I think that we have to be up and doing. First of all, those youth that are employed, to carry out some of these things, probably are not being employed gainfully. You understand?
So someone is just exploring
their ignorance, exploring their state of inactive, service or work or employment. So the government of the day, which is my government, I think we have a lot to do. We have to create enough employment, get every youth, at least, if not every youth, at least a chunk of the youth. Let's engage them. And I know that, so far, my government is creating a lot of avenues to creating employment for the teeming, youth.
Okay.
So I think we should rather encourage the government to do more. You see, it's all about parochial interest, selfish interest.
The greed. I mean,
so you the ordinary
hungry for power. Like, I don't know what. And the funny thing is, even when they assume these powers,
they abuse it. They abuse it.
We don't see any substantial influence from them,
or even impact they have on the community for which they want to, they want to rule or govern.
Nothing at all. You barely see, out of 1,000 chiefs, we can count off head 2 or 3 who advocate for development in their societies. The chiefs have left everything on the shoulders of government, forgetting they are actually part of governance.
Sincerely, I think our problem is broader than we think. Because when you question the chief, that's okay, so you've been installed or enskinned, and for about 10 years, we are not seeing any tangible,
nothing to show for.
There's no progress in the community for which you are the leader.
Nothing.
Then they also refer you to, but you guys have, taken power from traditional rulers and they handed it over to politicians. So our work is, contingent on the policies of the government of the day. And we say I think this constitutional review committee must do a lot. We should not hasten the process.
Yeah.
I think there should be thorough, deeper, introspection into some
into these things,
the matters that we face as people.
Decentralizing governance will go a long way in helping the development of our country.
Certainly. You see, it is time. It is time we jettison this European style of doing things. You see, let's get the knowledge, situate. You see, education.
Yeah.
I don't know. Till today,
yeah.
Ghana and Africa thinks that education is your ability to retain whatever you read, produce it on a paper, get it marked, and then you are done. They don't know. We still don't know that education is supposed to solve a problem. Education is meant to solve a problem. So, in fact, we have a long way to go.
A very long way. A very long way. And in that respect, since we are on the matters of conflict and all this, have you heard of what is going on in our sister country, Togo?
Togo? Yes, I saw some footages. You see, I don't know. Sometimes, for the French countries, I have stayed in Ivory Coast before.
Wow.
So you ask yourself, when? And the answer you get rhetorically is
never.
Look, you see, in Ghana here, we are discussing problems of education and so on. When you go to Ivory Coast, oh my gracious God, it's so funny.
Really?
Look, you will find a school child going to school in the morning. If the person is male, you find him in clothing that you would think that he's a farmer. Excuse my language. Okay? And you find a girl who come in the blue skirt with a white top, and then this girl will dress hip her breast.
Really?
Yes. And it will be showing, and she will go to school, she'll sit in class, come back. And they are still running the double track at the morning and afternoon session.
Yeah.
Yes, in Ivory Coast is prevalent there. So these French countries, you see, I always say that if Africa will rise, it will be dependent on Ghana sitting up, Nigeria sitting up. These two countries, if they get it right, Africa will get it right. You see, the French countries, for them, the colonial thing still lives with them.
A whole lot.
You understand? And I think the colonial masters have done so much to control
the affairs of
the people of Ivory Coast. I've been saying that for a very long time. We are not hearing of a coup in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And the reasons are two. The French and the Europeans have ensured that their current president, okay, his government is well entrenched everywhere, and agriculture, they are doing well in agriculture.
Okay.
So when it's morning, somebody gets food to eat. That's all. That's what the African, that's the problem that we face, that are so cogent, in our life. So when we get that problem solved, I think every other thing, can wait for another generation.
Yeah.
So Togo, it's pathetic. I don't know. And you see, all this, so I don't even know what to say. AU. What is the purpose of AU?
What's the purpose of ECOWAS? What is the purpose of UN?
No, for UN, leave their matter. But ECOWAS and then AU, particularly AU. You see, AU, when you look at the spirit that backs AU,
the AU,
is purely governance.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? Pa, I'm telling you, if we need a whole day to sit, digest
to
this matter
discuss
properly.
these things in terms of the African.
I think. Do you know? I think I'm proposing this. Let's
Okay.
get a day that we will sit here.
Yeah.
From morning till maybe afternoon or evening.
Because the matters are
matters are huge. You look at the selfish interest people in power are pursuing vis-a-vis the interest of their colonial or masters or the people. You see, people are in Africa, they are serving the West.
Yeah.
Our leaders are in Africa, they are not serving us, we are giving them good life. Look, the president gets paid.
Yeah.
Everything, every single expenses
is taken care of by the state.
Every single expense is taken care by the state, by the ordinary taxpayer. Every single expense.
Yeah.
And then we have these people serving,
colonial.
Serving our colonial masters. In fact, when you do a calculation, Ghana has been under, the dictatorship of the colonial masters for more than 400 years. For more than 400 years. And we are still living our lives according to the dictates
I don't get
this,
it.
Colonial masters.
I don't get it. You are a certain president. People are not benefiting from your presidency. They want you out. And you are resisting. Like, what is this?
You see, it's so funny. Look, Gaddafi of Libya, of blessed memory. What sin did he commit? That the whole Africa, especially West Africa, we sat and then looked on, and he was killed. And he was gone. So, AU. What is the use of AU? When our ministers, our big men go to sit in these meetings, they get paid, for per diems, hotel expenses. Everything is being covered by the ordinary Ghanaian. And yet, every decision that is taken in those meetings
affects us.
Are issues that pursues the agenda of the white man. There was a video I chanced upon some time ago where a young British he was chanting and protesting that the oil in Africa should serve Africans, and that the white man, his people should not think that they have to be growing forever and ever. Apparently, there was a hotel behind him where a meeting was being held, and the issue tabled for discussion was Africa's oil.
Wow.
So you see, honestly, our problem is so mountainous. Sometimes you wonder, and I don't know, Charlie, it's serious.
See, if I don't know, if
it's serious.
You today find time and then be following what is going on. And you know the most bizarre thing about these things, we are so quick as Africans to broadcast things that happen outside Africa, but the things that happen in our own territory, we look down on. We don't broadcast it. We don't publicize it. There is a mass shooting, like they are shooting people like they are shooting animals in Togo, right here. And none of our media houses. It's bizarre. And see, the funny thing is, these things, as they are happening this way, and we are on the borders with these people. The elderly have a saying that if you see
somebody's
beard on fire, find water
and sit close to a water body, or sit close to water.
These things can easily
escalate. But you see,
because we have Togolese here.
Yes. You see, whatever is happening in Togo, okay, sometimes we are a non-aligned country, but we should know that the forebearers of our country, particularly Kwame Nkrumah, was very much concerned about the unity of Africa and the essence of unity in Africa. This man has said several times, and even imputed this in his book, that the independence of Ghana is simply meaningless if it doesn't consider the entire Africa. So, you see, we are in Ghana. You know, we cannot talk much about what is happening there or chastise anybody there for causing some of these things. But we Africans, we are concerned.
We should be.
You see, when the issue of Burkina Faso came up, and Americans and the French people were bent on,
eliminating the
toppling the government of what's the young man's Traore. I told my friends that I'm expecting Ghana, our president, by then John Dramani Mahama was in power. Okay, had come to power in the mid, I said I was expecting my president and the Nigerian president to issue a statement
in solidarity with
the people of the Republic of Burkina, not the government of Burkina,
but the people.
And in that statement, it should state clearly that the affairs of Burkina Faso should be left with them to decide whoever they want as a leader. So that foreign interest doesn't come in. Some people disagreed with me, but eventually I saw a statement to that effect. Look, we have to be concerned. When are we going to continue living like this? That everything we decide for ourselves is not originally us. Look, how long has you see? We are in air.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes some of these statements you have to be cautious, hasten slowly because of our diplomatic ties with our neighboring country Togo.
Exactly.
Understand? You'll be in power for God knows how long. In fact, you will be in power before the country was born. When I say you be in power, I mean the bloodline.
Yeah, I understand.
So when?
And I mean the people are. This is the cry of the people. They don't have a problem with you being in power for so long, but
advance their interest.
Exactly.
Advance their interest. Look, I have a brother who is an Ivorian, like my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So he was in Ghana here, and on his Facebook page, he posted a statement chastising the government of Ivory Coast. Then quickly he had a voice message or a WhatsApp voice message from his uncle. His uncle begging him to stop any further statement. Do you know why?
No.
According to the uncle, you can get killed for speaking against the government. You can get arrested. Your family may even suffer because of your ideas that you put out publicly. These things are not good. You see, they are not good. It's time we rise up. It's time we rise up. My brother, look, sometimes we should be thinking, me, the ordinary youth. You see, as for our old men, they are done with. Yes, they are done with whatever But so are we going to correct the ills, or we are going to continue to live with the blueprint our forefathers left?
Yeah.
We have to be serious.
Sure.
America is America because it is relying on the resources in Africa. UK is UK because they are relying on the resources of Africa. So it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's a very serious matter. That is why I always stand with people our leaders, especially in the media, who are very vociferous on matters of Africa, calling for the total liberation of the continent, especially Dr. Kwesi Pratt. That my uncle, he's doing so well. I pray that God would give him long life, good health, to continue to speak for Africa, to continue to give direction as to how or where we should be heading to.
You see, and these are the people that I think we should be making most of them as we have them now.
Yes.
Before they are no more.
Yes, we should be getting education.
A whole lot.
We should be following them.
Yeah.
So that when they are gone, we will have people
we would
to
have
step
a blueprint
to
follow.
Honestly, it's serious.
It's very serious. I mean, like we talk of revolutions here and there, and people are losing their lives just for the betterment of something which is their privilege.
But you see, I'm right now my mind is contemplating something, that something unique is happening in Togo.
Really?
Yes. Because for the Togolese to hit the streets, I don't think this thing can happen somewhere in Ivory Coast. I'm saying it with a low voice so that people don't hear me. You understand?
I do.
Because
I do.
In Ivory Coast, simply you sitting in the comfort of your room, and you are speaking ill of the government of the day, you pray
Serious
that
issues.
we have this group called gendarmerie. Pray they don't hear. They don't hear your whisper.
Wow.
Your trouble is as big as committing suicide.
Wow.
You understand? So, in fact, we have to be up and doing. Look, let's rise up. Let's rise up. It's serious.
It's serious, brother.
Serious.
I mean,
serious. Kwame Nkrumah said this long time ago.
Yeah.
But you see, because the same selfish, and then greed, interest, is why people did not listen. Sometimes, one day we have to sit down and talk about Kwame Nkrumah. And why our grandfathers allowed people to use myopic, I don't know how to put it, to deceive them. We have heard a lot of things, though.
Yeah.
Kwame Nkrumah used our money to go and do so. And so Kwame Nkrumah had killed a pregnant woman, and he had put her in a seat in the Flagstaff House. Hey, Masa, Kwame Nkrumah has a certain god he's worshipping called Kanka Nyame, and then the Kanka Nyame requires a lot of blood. And Masa, and our forefathers believed all these things.
Yeah.
Thank God, some years later, CIA declassified documents came out and then set the record straight.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with our people? What's wrong with our people?
This
I remember when Nanadu was in opposition before this man became president. He had I think a public meeting with Macron.
Yeah.
If you remember, this man was talking strongly for Africa. People said, "Wow." And the audacity and temerity with which he made those statements in the presence of the French president, people said, this man will work.
Yeah.
This man.
But didn't he work?
My brother, we didn't know we were seeing another white man who turned black. He ceded this country to the Americans, to the French, to the foreign powers. Just go back and read the American military base agreement that he signed. This thing was on the table in White House for a very long time. White House wanted to implement this thing a very long time. I remember it was during Kufuor's time they brought this matter.
Yeah.
And Kwesi Pratt, God bless this man. He stood up mobilize people to hit the street against that American military base.
Yeah.
And then during Atamo's time, they didn't try it because the NDC were part of the people who were supporting Kwesi Pratt on this particular issue.
Okay.
During Mohammed's time, they didn't try it. Only for them to come to, only for Nana Addo to come to power and see this thing being implemented for just $20 million. But have you read the content of the agreement?
No, I haven't.
You will get shocked. The Americans are coming. They are coming to establish a military base. They would decide where to establish the military base. And when they do their installations, we Ghanaians or even the president we have elected doesn't have the authority to go to the installation.
See whatever.
The installation they have done, our president cannot go, we cannot go to inspect or see whatever is happening there. And they will bring in containers. And that containers to we, the people of Ghana. In fact, our government cannot inspect what is in the containers.
Yeah. So
and when they are taking the containers back to, we cannot inspect what is
in there.
In the container. And that when a Ghanaian is being arrested in America, they will be tried by American law. But when an American
is being arrested here,
has fallen foul of our laws, we have to. In fact, sometimes you wonder. So, hey, Charlie, Yaya Dio.
My name's a black.
But you're too much. How can you? And he appended his signature to this agreement. So, my brother.
So what has happened to that agreement now?
In fact, I don't know. You see, it's a government. Government is continuous. But I believe that just as we are talking now, I think something should be done about this. That alone is a huge impact on colonialism. My brother, look, my counterpart. In fact, when he shouldn't talk.
Why?
That single sin Nana Addo committed Ghanaians into. This thing should be a basis for every MPP person to keep quiet. What are you going to tell us? We have suffered, my brother. And then we did not curtail the local problem, and he was made the head of ECOWAS. And you see the interest he was pursuing. This man wanted to team up with the French to topple Burkina. What is this? Tourist government. You know.
Is it true? I'm only asking. Is it true?
No. Have you forgotten that he and the current president of Nigeria came up strongly against, and that they were going to send some forces in Burkina Faso? Hey. You see what our own people are doing to us. Nana Addo, the Nana Addo we know, was in cahoot with the Nigerian president to pursue French agenda in Africa. Sometimes you wonder, hey Charlie, this one it's not even funny. It's a serious thing. Hey. So it does not when he sleep. Does he sleep? When Nana Addo sleep, does he sleep? You see, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. Ghanaians should be afraid. They should run away from anybody who has taken tuition from Nana Addo, from Bawumia to Brian Champon, to all those people who are, showing interest in leading this country, who were part and parcel of his government. Because he has tutored them. He has given them, education.
But
he mentored them.
What is wrong with his mentorship?
My brother, so are you just envisage a government that will come again, that will go the Nana Addo way?
And what way is the Nana Addo way?
Look, they have plundered, they have destroyed. You see, gradually they were turning Ghana into, a hardcore, political and. My brother, we should not see a government like Nana Addo's government again.
Evie.
Me, you see, I always tell you, I'm a patriot.
Yeah.
I don't wish that my party should exist, should be the only existing party in Ghana here.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, it weakens our democracy.
Yeah.
We need a strong, viable political party, party
opposition, so
that will oppose, show ideas, proper solution to the problems we are facing as a nation.
Okay.
But that, like Nanado's own, let's pray. Let's pray, because this man has done harm not to only Ghanaians or the Republic of Ghana, but even Africa.
Hey, AP.
My brother, for you see, for you, an African president, to think that you have to team up with France, America, to topple a government in Africa. You see, people will say, "Oh, but Traore came through coup."
Yeah,
it should be a decision for Burkina Faso. At the very least, it should be a decision for Burkina Faso, not for France, for France or America.
Okay.
In fact, at large, it should be a problem for Africans to decide.
Yeah.
So why will our then president, hey Charlie, look, you see, they shouldn't get us to a point where words cannot convince us again.
But don't you think we've even gotten to that stage already where words do not convince?
Yes, we are so. You see, what I'm talking about is their actions should not stimulate our temperament. Charlie, we are African, na Africa da wakuma so, and we are Ghana, na Ghana da wakuma so. And sebi previasa, what in semen to and seniania.
Yeah,
you should be so worried.
Ebi, you have a message here. This is coming from Starboy Amasama. He says he sends his greeting and he has missed the attire joint.
Yeah, I told you about that attire joint. Yeah. Starboy, we used to meet there, and we have met a couple of times on radio shows. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell him I also extend my regards to him.
Sure. It's just that there's a little bit of history between you two.
Oh yeah. Oh, we are friends.
Oh,
we are
nice.
friends. But he's an MPP man, and I always try to tell him to be, to be circumspect in serving the MPP. Look, honestly, let's be very objective. MPP, any leader they choose will come and go. It's the same for the NDC.
Yeah.
John Mahama will finish and go.
Yeah.
What about you and me? What about our children? If these people come and they don't serve our interest, where do we go? This is the only country we have. Do you know that there was a report that Obuasi, in about 10 years to come, there will be no single gold in Obuasi? There's a report like that. My brother, have you ever been to Obuasi?
Oh yeah.
You see, when you get to Obuasi Township, there is a hill. Climb up the hill, look at the vicinity. You will not find a good roofing sheet.
No, not one.
Not one.
Not a single one.
Where gold has been mined for several
decades. Not one.
Do you know the most commonsensical thing we should ask ourselves is that the indigents of Obuasi, when they are marrying their loved ones, are they able to afford the gold that is being mined in their community to wed their wives? Look, we are blessed with soil that helps in the production of cocoa.
Sure.
We should ask ourselves, how many of us, how many Ghanaians can afford a bar of chocolate? When you go to America, you go to UK, France, Germany, you see their children have brown teeth and you are laughing at them. They are eating good chocolate. And do you know what chocolate does to the brain?
No.
It helps in the function of the brain.
Oh, okay.
So their children always consume this thing. They become so intelligent. They create to build their nation.
Innovative.
They innovate. And we are sitting in Africa. All we know is chew and pour. Look, you see, my brother is pathetic.
I think we actually need that day you called for.
Yes, we have to discuss Africa and matters of Africa.
Yeah, it's something we really need to be looking at. But Epi, let's get into conversations now. Over the weekend, you see, whenever we speak about this Galamsey fight, your party folks think we are just being unfair. But we are only holding you accountable to your own words.
Yeah.
Because there were so many initiatives, so many ideologies that came from your party in opposition, that we were expecting a swift action. An effective swift action, not an action that we've seen before. That didn't work.
Okay.
Because so far, I can tell you on authority that whatever you people are doing, we've seen it before. It's the old script. So what is new? How then do we believe your stance on fighting illegal mining? Now we've come to the knowledge that the lands minister has inaugurated a secretariat on mining operations, national anti-illegal mining. What is that? What is that about? Like that? What is the operation about? What is that secretariat going to function?
You know, Pa, once again, I have to be consistent. I am also concerned because this is Ghana. I have only one passport, a Ghanaian passport. So I cannot be inconsistent to the treatment of Ghana. I believe strongly, just as I told you the last time, that I have the conviction that John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, will not exert power after 4 years and have this problem persist.
Are you sure?
I can assure you.
But whatever we are seeing now, it's leading to the same thing.
You see, I think there should the government is being pragmatic in solving this matter. You see, we have to situate the fight against Galamsey in a broader context. Every effort you make at solving this problem has results. Are we seeing the result? Is Galamsey on the ascendancy, or is it at the peak as it used to be? No. The answer is no.
Okay.
You see, we cannot pretend not to know that something is being done about Galamsey. Galamsey is gradually coming down. It's a menace, and it's a serious one. You see, we cannot continue to have illegality happening under a government that we create. So definitely a listening government like that of John Dramani Mahama will solve this matter. But I think there should be, pragmatic steps, because we are, when we talk about this thing, we should be considering the fact that apart from the environment that is under consideration, apart from the health implications, there's also a matter of revenue. And commonsensically, this is a natural resource we have,
Yeah.
we are blessed with.
Yeah.
So we have to make use of it. We can't say we are banning every mining. No, mining has a procedure.
Sure.
So, and it has rules and regulations, directing it. So whoever wants to be engaged in this sector must do it legally.
Yeah.
So I think we know that there is progress.
Okay.
There's progress.
Let's take this. So far, in 6 months, what has been the steps taken by your government to fight illegal mining?
Okay.
So, brief us about it.
Okay. So, first of all, commitment is very important in the fight against Galamsey.
Okay.
No one can run from the fact that there's commitment. You see, there is a saying that when there's the will, there is a way. And so far, we have seen the will to fight Galamsey. Unlike before, we just create some ad hoc teams. They go to the mining site, they negotiate with miners, illegal miners, for that matter, and then come back. You media men have done so well. In fact, sometimes these are some of the reasons why I think the media should be given a special space in the constitution. Because I think you guys are powerful.
Yeah.
You are powerful. You understand? And the media is almost like a sector you cannot corrupt fully.
No, you can't.
Yes, because then some people they were
There
trained,
are
they
people
were
with
probably trained. Yes,
conscience,
they are people of conscience. Because they see themselves like ordinary, people like us. So the media has done so well. But you see, the last time I told you that, you see, the government of Nana Addo, went as far as institutionalizing Galamsey. Okay, it was like an institution that was growing stronger than Parliament, stronger than the judiciary. And it was because people in the central government, people in the executive, were those who were manning illegal mining.
Do we still have those people in?
No. They are not. We don't have them.
So
that is why it's on the descendancy. That's why that menace.
See, the truth of this whole matter is this. Okay, let me ask you this. There's a new initiative you've come up with, right? National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. What is their purpose?
Okay, so as is being stipulated or is being seen in the media space, the purpose of that body is to fight against illegal mining.
Okay.
And I think when you look at the core spirit forming that group, they are supposed to trace, and then confiscate everything that is supporting illegal mining.
Okay.
For instance, excavators and all other accoutrements or
in the past 2 months, the police has been on a rampant, confiscating, seizing, burning.
Okay.
So, is that not the same thing?
So, you see, the difference is that some people were doing it in a charade. Okay.
How?
They go after these people.
I'm talking about under your government too.
Oh no. You are saying, you are relating it to the previous administration.
No. I'm saying the last 2 months.
Okay.
The police has been arresting.
Yes, we are doing it. It's not only, I think it's that body. They have just been christened with the name you see in the report. Okay. But they were functioning already for the past 6 months. They were in operation.
So they are old people operating already.
Yes.
So what is the
formed by the government? No, formed by this current administration.
So what is the christening about?
About of
if
course,
they are already
no, they
operating.
should have forms.
See.
They should have structures, to work with. So
under the previous government.
So
under the previous,
yes.
I'm coming. Under the previous governments, we had
Galam Stop and all
Operation Vanguard. I can mention about 5 to 6 operations teams that we had.
Yeah.
In combating Galamsey. And where did it leave us?
So that's the point I was making.
The core roots of this thing, as you mentioned, we have people who are legally mining. These companies, they have
been in operation for.
They have their own legal concessions they are mining. Now the illegal miners, what will it take from government to repeal the airline? That gives permission. 2, to issue a state of emergency. What will it take from government? These questions I'm asking today, you asked it when you were in opposition. So I'm also asking you.
Okay, you see, I told you the last time we met here that when you are in opposition, or when some people are in government, they make sure that the full facts of the matter they are handling is not in the public space. So to be able to understand what is going on is difficult.
That is quite bizarre.
I was making a point. Let me make the point.
If you didn't know the whole thing, if you didn't have the whole story, why did you come out with a publication?
Okay, so that is why we're saying that as long as mining in the forest is being done, then the scope of illegal mining has reached, a level that is dangerous for us as a people. You see, the repeal of the law or the LI giving permission to mine in the forest zones. Okay, I believe my government has a lot of consideration for that LI. And so things will be, you see, only last week we were talking about it. This week you have seen, some stories relating to the same topic we had discussed previously. So I'm telling you, trust the government of the day. We will solve the issue of Galamsey, ensure that whoever is mining will mine legally. Okay. Then the issue about the difference between the approach. You see, previously we had excavators being seized, confiscated for that matter. Then some few weeks after confiscation, we realized that they had, all of a sudden they had wings, they flew away. So when we hear stories of this, or when some people permit this to happen, then you know that people in high places are those, controlling, the illegal mining. So my brother, I don't want to say let's be thankful, because it is the duty of the government to pursue our interest in this line. But I think so far so good. We need to do more. Because for the past 8 years, if the Akufo-Addo government was unable to fight Galamsey, that is one. If the Akufo-Addo government was part of entrenching this thing, of institutionalizing this thing, we shouldn't expect that within 6 months, we should be done with the fight against Galamsey. This thing has grown to become a separate institution.
So you knew that within 6 months we shouldn't be expecting this.
No, it's not bad.
No, I'm coming. But when we're in opposition, this thing can be stopped in 2 weeks. This thing, state of emergency needs to be declared. No. The airline needs to be repealed.
No, you see, whenever you hear people call for state of emergency, you do it when you realize that things are getting out of hands. Yes,
Ebi, you think things are not out of hands with this?
Oh, my brother, stop exaggerating. Are you saying that as we speak today, Galamsey is being done like it used to be done before? Oh, my brother.
Okay.
Let's not do this.
I've heard you.
You know, let's not do this, my brother. Let's not do this.
I've heard you.
No, if you have any evidence in support of the fact of that stand that Galamsey is at its peak or is still, unresolved as it used to be, then please share it with us.
Okay.
But me, what I know and the facts I have, in fact, and every Ghanaian know this, that the government of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, is fighting Galamsey.
Okay.
The records are there to show.
All right. Okay.
So I know my brother will come in and begin to also toe the same line, and that Galamsey, this and that will be promised. Yes, we promised, and we are delivering.
Okay.
I want to advise my brother, he shouldn't talk too much about this thing. Because if you spent 8 years trying to build, strengthen Galamsey, I'm not saying fighting against Galamsey. They spent the entire 8 years
building the menace.
The menace.
Okay.
Creating the menace.
Okay.
So they don't, we don't expect you guys to talk too much about, Galamsey.
Enoch, AP says you don't have the moral right to even speak on Galamsey issues because your party spent 8 years in power, only strengthening the menace, empowering the activity, empowering people. These are his words. Yes. You can hear him speak it. So I'm only paraphrasing it to you here. But once again, you are welcome. And the NDC has now come with a National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat to fight Galamsey. Something that your party didn't do. They are
secretariat.
Yeah, secretariat.
Of which you are going to pay them. We are going to establish an office.
Once it's secretariat, I assume that
they are bringing secretariat. But they remember when Akufo-Addo introduced the free SHS secretariat. You remember what they did? Cried all out in this country. Why are you wasting government money to establish offices? What is the essence? And today they are introducing a what? Anti-illegal mining secretary.
Yes, anti-illegal mining secretary.
I think I have spoken much on Galamsey, and I thought I won't even meet it again because these people have decided that they have no plan. They have no plan. They are just moving around. You see, I've always said this: when there's a problem and you decide to just call around it, it makes the work difficult. Let me mention some of the manifesto promises. The current president, John Dramani Mahama, said he would do when given the nod in opposition just into the 2024 election. Wage a ruthless war against illegal mining. That is the first one. Ban all mining in forest reserve. That is to repeal the LI for mining in forest reserve. Launch Blue Water Initiative to clean rivers.
That has been launched. Good.
Introduce AI in the fight against illegal mining. I don't want to list the rest. So my question has always been, what has changed now? You are in power. You cried and cried that President Akufo-Addo has failed in the fight against illegal mining, to the extent that your current Minister of Communication told us that the president you are paying can only just use just a few days to just end Galamsey if he really wants to. So I'm asking myself, it is not a matter of you are 6 months in government, but what you said in opposition. What has changed now? Why a secretariat now? Have you failed? Can't you do the work now? You see, I always say that aside everything, Dr. Baumia had one of the best policies for the fight against galamsey.
Which was?
One, he said, invest in geological mapping and data sharing. Do you understand that? He said the try and error in galamsey or mining has become a lot. We dig here looking for gold, it's not there. We dig here, try and error. At the end, we destroy our land. So what should we do? We should have people who will do the testing on the lands.
But do you know that we already have these people?
I'm
Before
coming.
everyone will mine, you have people who I've even forgotten their
My
name.
brother, today they have gadgets.
My brother, go to just eastern region here. I don't know if you have seen a galamsey area before.
I've actually lived.
Do you know the test and error that they are doing over there?
It's not test and error, my
Then that's not actually
That's not test and
testing.
error.
They are just all that amounts to illegal mining. That's why they are not getting. Have you heard Takwa mines?
Yes.
Ever having a test and error before?
No.
Exactly.
But
Because they
these
doing
are
the right thing.
legal miners.
Yes.
But all what we are saying is that most of these galamseyers do not even have this equipment or
Exactly.
mining ideas. So they just go there and then do their test. Onyebia oko. Then he said that this mercury thing that we are using to mine, that is what is destroying our water bodies. Why don't you bring another alternative for this mercury thing?
You see, the reason why this is, I don't know how to put it, is he was in power for 8 years
Yes.
as a vice president.
Yes.
The second most powerful person
in the country.
In the country.
Yes. My brother, we always say that every leader and the vision that the person has. My brother, when you were speaking, I don't think I even made the that you are doing. I don't get it. You are in the warmth of affair and you are failing. I am giving my submission and you are doing like as if you are in power now. Give it to your government to ban the illegal mining. Please, let me make my point. You see, every president or every leader and the vision that person has. President Akufo-Addo in his wisdom knew what he wanted to do with galamsey. Vice President Dr. Baumia can only offer his advice, but it takes the president who has been given the power to decide on what to do. So he is saying, when I come, when I'm giving the nod as the president, this is what I will do. We introduce gold catching machines rather than this mercury thing, because we've seen that it is the mercury that is destroying our water bodies. So why don't you bring an alternative rather than your AI solutions? We've given you the nod today. I decided that with galamsey, I don't want to speak about it because they've decided that they will close their ears because the problem is that we've told you, one, repeal the airline. You've used certificate of emergency to go and pass your D levy. Last week we saw that certificate of emergency again to amend the Holiday Act. And you are still giving us excuses that it is in the pipeline. Are we deaf? Can't we see? You've used a certificate of emergency to pass two things. Your D levy and then amend the Holiday Act. But you are still telling us today that you cannot repeal the airline. Not even thinking of amending it. See, Ghanaians are watching you. If you want to fight illegal mining, repeal the airline. That is the first thing. These Chinese people that when you arrest them, you deport them to their country. Arrest them. They are doing it. You told Ghanaians that when you come to power, those that we've arrested them, they are not doing the galamsey. You leave them. The real kingpins are there. Today, you are deporting the real kingpins. What are you telling us? Stop this political interference you are doing. Today, we know some of your party bigwigs inside there doing the galamsey. Then you come out all of a sudden with your PR and settings and what have you. Then you want to come and deceive Ghanaians. We've set up a secretariat. Whose money are we going to use to pay these workers at the secretariat? Are we not going to even waste government money when we all know the problem? You and I, as nationalists, we all know the problem. That it is this and this you have to do. Repeal the LI, stop political interference, arrest NDC people who have now gone in to do this mining. You and I know, and stop this mercury that we are using, because that is destroying our water bodies. You know, then you come and sit here, then intentionally you decide to just make some comment. We've set up a secretariat. Tomorrow we've arrested 2 people doing illegal mining. The next day we've seen some excavators. See, stop this antics and PR certain things you are doing, and go and fight it. If you decide to make it a national problem, we all put our hands in. Till you stop this political thing you are doing with this galamsey. Ghanaians are all watching.
I know, in a nutshell, there's national anti-illegal mining operations.
Oh, it won't do anything. It won't do anything. Forget them. They are just doing one of their few things to just let us know they are doing something. But they know that this secretariat thing won't do anything, because them themselves fight opening of secretariat when they were in opposition. So today, what is the essence of another secretariat? When you and I know the problem, we know the problem. You are telling me secretariat can fight the problem. Ah, my brother, and you go across secretariat Ebio Accra. It's money, baby. Please, let's be serious as a country.
Thank you, Enoch.
Relax. He will let you do rebuttals.
Let me put it this way: you fixing your rebuttal when you are making your submission on the next topic. Oh yes, I mean it's an ample time. You will have time to do it. Yes. So with that being said, let's go into the next topic for discussion. And the Chief Justice, the suspended Chief Justice, she has filed a judicial review at the High Court for the proceedings of the impeachment to be quashed. They should be quashed. When we say quashed, So, what do you think of that? The woman is still. Are we saying that because she's a Chief Justice, she knows the law? So, are we saying she doesn't know?
She doesn't know
if the law is misinterpreted in regards to her impeachment? Are we saying she doesn't know? Because all these cases she's making are leading to the fact that the law being used against her is not in the right interpretation.
Okay. Pa?
Yes, sir.
Quickly,
Yeah.
This, my friend, my brother,
Enoch,
he just told Ghanaians that Bawumia is unfit, he is dishonorable to be the leader of Ghana. Let me put it, to be the president of Ghana. Because Bawumia didn't share the vision of Akufo-Addo. And he never disassociated himself from the governance of Akufo-Addo. At a point from the beginning, Nana Addo told us that all the successes his government had chalked was hinged on the contribution of Bawumia. You remember the CD, in jail, that they have captured the CD, the dollar, the keys are with the IGP, and they rendered all these accolades to Bawumia. Today he's telling us that Bawumia shares a different vision. He says Bawumia shares a different vision from the president, and Bawumia had remained, or he had been with Nana Addo for the 8 years. So, secondly, his answers to what Bawumia was proposing simply tells me Bawumia didn't even understand galamsey. He didn't understand anything about galamsey, the use of mercury. So what? Throughout the world, where do you mine and then you don't see the use of mercury, and that there's going to be testing? Look, galamseyers are able to purchase a whole excavator, which is ranging around 1 million Ghana cedis. That's 10 billion. And you think they cannot buy that thing that they use? It's just like a stick. You just go like this, then it begins to show. Then you know that there's gold here. Let me tell you what John Dramani Mahama proposed, and he's on track. This secretariat was mentioned of. in opposition that we are going to set up this secretariat, empower them to work, and that is the first stage. Ensure
Really?
that, yes, and ensure that we trace and track every Galamsey site. Ensure that Galamsey is halted in all these Galamsey sites.
Yeah.
Secondly, we are going to train people who are interested in going into mining. And we are going to use the assistance of, or we are going to require the assistance of Takwa School of Mines and other university institutions around Western region to train people with interest in mining. You remember? And we are on course. Look, the final, or what suit my heart was the issue about reclamation. That when everything is certified, you get your concession, we will establish secretariats in all the mining communities. So you go and take your clearance, you have the certificate to mine in this concession, then you make payment of an amount that will be deposited in the accounts of the secretariat. You go and mine. When you are done, then you reclaim the land.
Okay.
You put the land into its former state.
Okay.
Then you come for your money. If you fail to put the land, reverse the land to its former state,
the money
then
will be used to
you forfeit the money.
Okay.
Then that money will be given to contractors to reclaim the land.
Okay.
And we are going to use AI in supervising. We are going to use AI to capture everything being done in the mining areas to ensure that everybody is living according to the code, is working according to the code of ethics, for mining. We are on course, my brother. You have spent 8 years building the capacity of Galamseyers. You have spent 8 years ensuring that you are give ground, you strengthen Galamsey activities. And somebody comes in 6 months, is implementing the solutions.
Okay.
You are talking about and that we have failed. Do you know what is failure? 8 good years you are creating the problem. You expect us to use 6 months to solve the problem. You did it with state apparatus. You in power. You create a problem. Look, you see, if I single-handedly create a problem now, it won't be as strong as when a minister does that. It won't be as powerful if a sitting president does that. My brother, you do this thing and you expect John Dramani to use, 2 weeks.
Isn't your minister who said
my brother, let me put that aside. You see, I don't know. My brother, and he was talking about the Chinese people, when they are being arrested, they are deported. Hey, who started this thing? Who started the deportation of Chinese illegal miners? You remember Aisha One? In fact, Osafo told us that we cannot arrest Aisha One and imprison her here simply because the Chinese loan. Hey, me say baby ankofo edi Ghana koye no ho. Me do nyankopon. Ese kabade san ye de abufo ye hu se MPP ni bi kasa. We should cause his arrest. Look at the, I'm telling you, look at where you took Ghana to. And you have the guts, the temerity to say that we should arrest Chinese people and then we shouldn't. My brother. Master. You saw me make certain gestures and you were angry because I'm infuriated.
You know you have only 4 minutes left on the
my brother, no, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. Because
you had 10 minutes.
The case of the Chief Justice saying, hey, Ghana Pioneer. Look, who in Ghana didn't know that this woman is a mess in the forecourt of our judicial body? Who didn't know that this woman was messing up in the judiciary, for which she is a leader of? My brother, there are plethora of instances Hey, yo. So we believed in Nanado, gave him power only to put people who will help him reverse Ghana to a colonial, year. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Look, who is representing this woman in court? In this impeachment, who is representing her? The former Attorney General.
He's a lawyer.
Godfrey Dami, my brother.
He's a lawyer.
So you see, it should tell you that, hey, Charlie.
So what has that got to do?
Do you know what?
What has that got to do?
There are a lot of issues. I'm repeating this, the former president of America. I'm repeating his statement again. Africa needs strong institutions, not strong men.
Okay.
Nanado used power to build strong men rather than build strong institutions.
Okay.
You find an impeachment procedure being carried through legally, and you have the Attorney General of the administration who appointed this woman serving as her legal her counsel. So the woman cannot find any better lawyer.
Is that Attorney General not
except that
lawyer?
No, but you see, this thing.
Are you saying this in regards to him being a part of the party?
My brother, you see, they are not even. They don't show conscience.
Have you heard that this pastor, Reverend, is it Stephen Wigan, has been given an appointment? Reverend, I'm sure his name is Reverend Steve.
Yes,
Stephen Wigan.
Superintendent.
He's a pastor of Assemblies of God. Right?
Okay.
Why does the president go to church? Just last 2 weeks, the Assemblies of God held a church men's something, and he participated. Right. He's an Assemblies of God member.
You see,
right?
on this matter, this is new to me. But if what you are saying is true, then we all have to condemn it.
Then it is true.
And then
My brother, you know what
he has been appointed as the board chairman for Ghana Immigration Service.
Yeah, a pastor heading.
No. You see. So that is where I will, I will come in as a patriot to say no. I think there should be, circumspection in some of these things. But you see, going back to this matter of Madame Gertrude Tukuno, the woman, you see, I don't know. I'm not a law student.
Okay.
Only that I have sat in a law class before. I did some basic law. But Charlie, a whole chief justice, you don't understand law. My brother, you and I know. Say, asem ekudu quarter. You cannot go outside the confines of the court to make prejudicial statements about the very matter that is in court. So you see, this woman had just shown that she was unfit, she was not qualified, she is not knowledgeable enough to head that important institution. Because if you and I know, the ordinary people on the street know that when you make that, you are in contempt of court, and you go and do that, and you were heading that institution just a few days ago or a few weeks ago. You see, it should tell us that this woman doesn't understand the law, and we say that the law is in the bosom of the judges. Do you know the meaning of that?
No.
It means that for everything they must protect it's in their hearts. But you see, it was not in her heart. I want to tell every judge today, I want to make this statement. It should go into their heads that they don't understand the law better than everybody in Ghana. But you see, for there to be sanity, then they tell you, okay, you are the judge. Me, I know the law. You know the law. But there should be somebody who will say, okay, you know what? Based on the circumstances of the case, this is the judgment, so that we all follow. It isn't that you the judge, you know the law better than me. That is not the case.
Okay.
And this woman, you see, I don't have much time. I would have recounted plenty instances, a plethora of instances where this woman failed. She failed the people of Ghana. She failed the constitution. Look, common sense, okay?
Can you wrap it up for me?
Common sense. Look at the petition of 2016. Okay, I think so. There was a petition, an election petition. I think, was it in 2016?
We've had petitions in 2012.
2012. You see how the judgment came. Okay. You cannot have. We didn't see an instance where you find the entire bench going one direction.
So that's the problem.
No, you see, and it happened under the regime of somebody who wasn't a lawyer. Then you find another jurisdiction where the sitting president is a lawyer. Then you find, the united, in fact they were united.
If the case,
my brother, if the case, they should use common sense. Master, you see, let me be honest with you. These people bro. Simply. And you see, and you run to the public to discuss matters that are in court. Do you know the instances, the reasons why she went to she says that the venue of the proceedings was close to a place where the June 4 so the 3 high court judges were killed, and that secondly her husband was not allowed in, and that there were scanners that were used on her. Hey, so this man was the one leading the judiciary. Something that was held in plenary. You are going to take an oath. My brother, wait. You are going to take an oath. Your lawyer will take an oath that everything that is being discussed there will remain there until the case is finished. You want your husband who will not take an oath to be there.
Okay.
So what if he released any information in the proceedings to the public? Okay. Who is held accountable? Who will be held accountable for that? And that on the first day of the hearing, her counsel was there, she was absent, and that the judges, did not continue the matter or did not even start the matter because of her absence. Is her lawyer or her counsel going to take oath on her behalf? I don't know. So hey, even in opposition, when you're very careful, you make such a person a chief justice. Hey, Charlie Moy had you Ghana for ye chi akukọ nam na ye ho akukọ nam ma obiane ye wi na ye ho ntoy ya de. We able to survive this government.
The Chief Justice is filing a judicial review for her impeachment to be quashed because she believes that it is not in the right procedures. The laws are being mishandled against her. What do you have to say about that?
So you asked that the Chief Justice, the suspended Chief Justice, as far the judicial review to quash an impeachment process. That was the question, right?
Yeah.
I think my brother hasn't even answered your question. He has spent close to about.
I wouldn't say it was a question. I was like, that is it.
Yes.
My question was, are we saying that?
So he, as the government of the day, is supposed to tell us that, oh no, the process is right because per the constitution we did A, B, C, D. We received the petition from the council. We found a prima facie case against it. That is what my brother is supposed to tell us, rather than hey. And what kind of communication are we doing now? You see, it is serious. So it is telling us that truthfully, what the woman is saying in some way, somehow is true. But maybe that is not the case. If that, yes.
Wow.
Because if you could have answered in the right manner that this and this is what the government of the day has done, and we think is following proceedings. So whatever the woman is doing is just some antics. then the listeners will know that, oh yes, but you couldn't even touch on the issue when you were just cementing yourself.
You wanted to hear something from me, and I will not say that. I will not say what will gladden your heart. I'm telling you the truth. Such a person was appointed or made the Chief Justice of Ghana.
Abi, you are actually interjecting in him.
Oh, my brother.
You see,
when you were talking, he was very quiet.
For me, I will not sit here to defend or cry for or shout for anybody, but all I'm saying is, yes, for opposition, we are there to criticize when the government is turning on some part of which we feel is not right. We want to take off a Chief Justice. The third arm of government or the arm of government headed by, you want to take the person who is heading that arm of government, you want to kick her out like a polling station executive or like a class prefect.
But is that what they are doing?
My brother, what again are they doing?
Looking at the procedures, you think?
Well, I have no problem. For me, I've told you, if they even want, they should take all the judges at the Supreme Court, of which you call them MPP, take them all out, change the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, take everybody out, and then come and fill the bench with your people. We have no problem. Power, they say, is transient. Everybody is watching. We will come. For now, they are setting the pace that for Chief Justice, it is just like a ministerial appointment. When you come, take the one who we want there. You are politicizing it, and everybody is watching. The democracy is what you are putting in a ditch, and everybody is watching. Yes, when another government comes, they also appoint the one that favors them, because in opposition, you made it clear that MPP has failed the bench with MPP judges. So when you come, you appoint new people. One, it means that when you come, you are going to appoint people who are neutrals. Or two, you are going to appoint people who are also what? NDC judges. That is the meaning of what President John Dramani Mahama said. That when we come, you fill the bench with MPP people, so we are going to appoint new people. Appointing new people means you are going to appoint people, one, who are competent or who are neutrals. Two, people who are NDC or are likely more to lean towards the NDC. That is what you are going to do. So when you have a suspended Chief Justice, you sneak in to pass and send nominees to Parliament for us to vet them and then pass them. When we have a suspended Chief Justice case still pending, it is telling us clear what you want to do. Today, your party chairman, who is the board chair for Ghana Port, is telling us that can plainly say that we have to sack the EC. It is telling us the part of which we are certain without any reason can just say that we have to sack the EC. It is telling us what you want to do, but you see, we are all watching. Madam Toko, no one come and sit here and plead or say anything on her behalf. But all what we are saying is she has come out to make some claims that up to now you've not been able to tell us specific allegations that, Madam, we are taking you out because you did this, for her lawyers to prepare and come and defend. You've not been able, you are just making speculations here and there. Her hearing is now in scrutiny. She wants it in public. Obian tiebi ompe kukuomu dem adina moye no ompe opeso obi tiebi.
Is that the way to go?
It is telling you that she knows. She onim said your moye no and at the edit to no sono. You try to so into opeso obi tiebi.
Okay. All right.
You are saying that what have you or to coin a per diem and then or then ma. Per statement, she's telling you that I even brought the balance. Sikana mo de ma msa me mfa nkono. Me nini ni na me mpo me buy me de diaka ye den. Ebremo. Or see, in my life as a lawyer and a judge, if anybody can say I have taken bribe, the person should come. It is telling you the integrity the person has. But if today you want to go your own way and then do whatever you want to do, nobody has a problem. You are only setting the precedents down. And when we come to power, we'll just follow suit. We'll follow suit. That is all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
To boss. Oh, Kasano being Kebi.
On what how? Or not, has you? I can the same thing for a suspended Chief Justice can say, and there's no specific allegation. And yet she was at the press conference speaking to the allegations meted against her. That it's not a specific allegation. You see, they are so confused. They don't know what they are doing. Say easy. Yeah, chairman say easy no. Say easy. Now no make it easy no. Onima. And on person be Ghana for before. Would you on resigning? In one election, that was in 2020 elections. Yeah. How many results did this woman bring out? Aden, yeah, Nkolana. What do you take Ghanaians for?
Our time is up, so we would have to.
Oh, so we didn't even discuss the GRA thing.
Our time is up.
Our time is up.
Charlie,
let's
Ghana for me, I don't know.
So, can you wrap it up for me in 1 minute?
Wrap it up.
Your last words in 1 minute.
Ghana for my idea. Say, Yetimini Nanado, any Baumia, any MPP for. No more most they want to become the leaders of the MPP. Omunina, no matna for good 8 years. My idea, Yamin Shira Ghana for Nina. Say, Yetimini Sanko for Yatna. I am ye. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, your bon pie mau, Yakupon or mau, a hondin, a pomudin, Nyansan on for being cajon, a botreno for being cajon. Now, Ube disep, a yame, and I say, Ube disanko for a chia. And yet, Ghanaians, thank you very much. Thank you so much for your patience, understanding. I know my brother will not talk because I sent Ben over.
He's wrapping up.
And you know, today there's a government that is interested in PR and settings, telling you that dollar has gone down, inflation
hasn't gone down.
Your CD has appreciated, inflation has gone down, but still prices of goods and services are surging high. Today, a government promised to fight galamsey has failed. Is rather interested in amending Holiday Act and then passing D levy and the rest. Today, there's a government of the day that has failed woefully in the fight against galamsey, passing under rooms or parliament to introduce taxes. Today, we are 14% on electricity. There is water. Just last week, they've told us they've increased electricity again, 2.45, 15% on insurance, non-life insurance. There's a lot more coming. Ghanaians, yes, just expect it. This is the NDC government. They haven't changed. The NDC you knew in 2012 to 2016, the same NDC. They took off e-levy and betting tax to introduce new more. There are more coming. There are more coming. So you should just expect they will come out with a lot of excuses. There's artificial CD appreciation. Today, when you go to Forex, it is selling at 12, but on their distance, they will tell you it is 10 CD. Yes, it is good. It is good. Ghanaians are all watching. This morning, I would like to greet all my party people. I would like to greet Mr. Jasper Techimensa, a good brother who has been with me, and also like to wish a happy belated birthday to Franklin Asewa, celebrated a birthday yesterday, aspiring women's commissioner at Accra Technical University. May God richly bless you. God bless everyone. And good morning once again, and God bless you, Ghana Talks Radio. For NDC there, they will continue to lament. They will continue to lament. When we sit here, we will speak as nationalists and as party people, and we will speak the truth. And Ghanaians are monitoring. We are only 6 months. Next week, we are 7th month. By December, there, nam yeni na Ghana ha. Yede Iran Israel on tokana. Yede babe chichire muntu.
We thank God, and we thank you all for sticking through with us throughout the show. This is where we call on the curtains. Tomorrow we'll be here same time. Tomorrow is not a holiday. I just want to remind you of that. It's been shifted to Friday. So if you've made plans with somebody to go and chill somewhere, tomorrow is not a holiday. It's Friday. It's actually a national prayer and fasting day for the country. So tomorrow, that is what we are doing. Thank you once again for sticking with us on Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We come your way every morning, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Up next is DJ Rock. We sign out.